But the other player who people have had a lot to say about, and it was mentioned in the open, is Joel Embiid, who just does not look like a fit for the roster. And you mentioned him being wined and dined by, the French group and being able to put him with Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert. Like, that would have been a terror for the United States, even if they don't use Joel Embiid to full capacity here. Just playing defense against France, and not like actual defense on the floor, but like defense against France, keeping him away is a plus. But from the standpoint of basketball fit, and I thought about this, Jake, and you watch a lot of Joel Embiid, like you're around there. He doesn't make quick decisions. And I feel like in the FIBA game, you don't have time to stop and probe and lean and dip your shoulder and try to, get those fouls and everything else. Like, I just think that he's not built for the FIBA game. In addition to him, every time he touches the ball, it's like Showtime at the Apollo out there, man. Boo! They cannot stand his ass out there. I mean, rightfully so, right? But how do you see his fit on this roster? It's not an indictment of him as an NBA player, I don't think. It just doesn't seem like he's a fit for FIBA basketball.
I think he can fit because, there is a lot of opportunity for post play. You're allowed to get away with, some deeper shoulders and stuff like that. And in Steve Kerr's system, where there's a lot of stuff from Golden State where you throw the ball into the pinch post, you can make plays out of that. His passing, I think, still is very underrated because he doesn't, in the past, he hasn't had too many teammates in Philadelphia that are worthy of those passes, let's say. And I think in this new iteration of the Sixers, that ball is going to be popping around the perimeter more, and he'll be, making more swings to the opposite corner and stuff like that. But you saw in that New York series that he had some games with 6, 7, 8 assists and stuff like that. I think, to your point, there is just, there were promises made for him to be in the starting lineup. He is the greatest center in the league outside of Nikola Jokic. So he's going to have that hierarchy. He's going to walk into that room, and AD and Bam aren't going to think, this guy is in a class unto himself because they're competitors and all NBA guys and all stars to their own right. But he's the only guy of that group that has an MVP to his name and has been finishing top 2 or 3 in that category pretty much every year he's been healthy the last half decade. So that's, I think, expected. It's just, when you do get caught in these one-on-one battles with Jokic and you're trying to take 3, 4 dribbles, it's the same thing with Tatum too. And I saw KD, and this could be a transition into that portion of this area. I saw KD in one of his classic tweet exchanges talking about the beautifulness of the game and playing random basketball. That is the maybe weird, not so hand in glove fit about this, is that when you throw the ball into the block to Joel Embiid, you limit that randomness. You limit the outcomes and the range of outcomes that the other 4 guys can do when he's taking his time and he's clearing out space with all that he has to his body. And I think everyone could benefit from, it's when he was playing in the exhibition game. I forget which game he had 15 and looked good, but when he's out there setting screens for Steph 40 feet from the basket and he's running pin downs and stuff like, that's where he can really, I think, shine in this setting. It's not going to be his preferred, let me get that thing on the block and take half the shot clock and do my thing.
Yeah. Look, I'd miss post play in NBA. Like, let me make that perfectly clear. I don't like the NBA that basically is drive and kick. Sometimes you need to throw the ball down to the big boy and wear somebody's ass out. Like, that's basketball that I grew up watching. Like, I like the variety of it. I like the game as a whole, but I do miss that element of it. It's just not a big time place for it in this spot for Embiid. And especially when you look at the other side and Jokic, whenever he was on the floor, they played USA to a standstill. I think some of those numbers were skewed by the good first quarter that Serbia had. But when he was off, they were outscored by 26. He was off the floor for 9 minutes, and it was 29-3 or something like that. Like, they couldn't score. They could barely get shots up. It literally looked like they could barely get the ball past half court. Now,